100. Bracy got the win. Bromell second. Kind of makes sense. These two have been so close all year, so it makes sense. Bromell wins in the Diamond League over the weekend. Bracy comes back and gets the win here. Eli Hall gets third. We talked about Coleman being a non-factor in this race again, but yeah, a good win for Bracy. I had some questions about what was going to happen with this event post World Championships because I didn't know who was going to run and if we'd see a lot of the big names matching up. But credit to them. You got the silver and bronze medalist in the same race against a deep field. It was kind of a fun race.
I notably thought there's something interesting from Bromell. Bromell still gets top 3 here, but this is now a second or third time I've seen him have a weird like trip or stutter late in his race, like losing balance, and like kind of like something's happening. He's like tripping up on himself.
Semis at Worlds, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, and he does it again here, and I'm just like, what's going on? It's like losing control, maybe. I don't know, but I feel like it might be something. Maybe he's not able to. Yeah, see,
he's moving to the right. Yeah.
He waves his arms
wobbled
out
a little bit to the outside lanes. Yeah,
looks like Edward Cheser
at the end of a 10K. You're going pretty fast there, but I mean, credit to Bracy. Good start here. Coleman, to me, it feels like his start is solid. His start is fine. It's just the second part of his race is just not there in the way it was when he won his world title. And I think he just needs a reset at this point. I mean, he's still out there giving it a go. So he must feel physically fine. But that second part of the race is just not going his favor. Going back to World Championships, these last couple meets too. I mean, he used to have a lead, midway, and then would either build or just hold on. I think, Bracy's a really good starter. Bromell's a really good starter. But even, 20, 30 meters out, he's still in a good spot. It's just that second half is not there for him.
We need to talk a little bit about Christian Coleman. So whenever we talk about the current great 100-meter runners, we always would include Coleman in that conversation. Now that he's got 6 at Worlds and he has now had 2 back-to-back subpar performances, what are your thoughts on that idea that maybe we need to stop giving Christian Coleman the 2019 benefit of the doubt and realize that was 3 years ago, and that like right now you're not really in the same conversation as the Bromell, Bracy, Curley, Omanyala, Seville type conversation.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let's back up for a second. You made a really interesting first tier and you added some guys in there who I would not have put in there, which is fine. But Omanyala and Seville, yeah, I mean, I think you can run with those guys. Let me ask you this question.
Omanyala beat Fred Curley. Remember that?
Yeah, he did. And that's great. But it's not as if there were circumstances outside of his control. Again, I wouldn't put him in the top tier. But that's not the point of this discussion. After World Indoors, like, do you think he is the same, better, or worse than after indoor season?
I think he's worse.
Okay. So if you think that he was fine there and he's gotten worse, then I would say he can return back to that form. I mean, look at what Bromell did last year at the Olympics. I mean, post Olympics, he had that one fast time in Nairobi, but he didn't get back to his pre-Olympic trials like dominant Bromell performance. So
it's just like I'm looking at these results. There's only 2 times he's broken 10.
Yeah, well, and because we were giving him the benefit of the doubt. I remember that race in Tokyo early on in the year when he ran the 10:09, right? And we're like, all right, that was fine, but when are we going to see more? And then you just keep waiting, and then that one in New York, he beat Akeem Blake, but it was real close. But I just think he said it all year long, and I don't think we waited enough. Like, being off for that amount of time clearly impacted him. Now, if he was fine though in indoors and then regress back to outdoors, I don't know. I don't know the explanation of it, but that's something we're all kind of defer to people who have been in that spot and had to race at that high level.
I
This
don't
year, is
I
he in the
think
first tier? What?
I don't think anything's changed. I think it's easier to be good in the 60 than it is to be good in the 100. Like those extra 40 meters are a lot. And
Yeah, but you just said he
that
got worse. You
yeah,
that's what you
because
said. Yeah.
well, I think he's worse because he's now I think he would look this now I think if he was running a 60-meter dash, he would be running the same times he ran indoors. I think he'd run
Okay,
six
so
fours
that's
in a 60-meter
okay.
dash.
So that's why I asked. So you're not saying he got worse. You're saying he's just basically been the same all year,
He's got worse
indoors.
because you are what you are the
The
sport you
event
have to
changed.
play, and the sport he
Well,
plays
I
is
know.
the 100-meter dash now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
technically,
that
what?
was the point I was getting at. That was the point I was getting at. Like,
Okay,
do you think a 6.41 is equivalent to whatever he's running now? And you can look at the points tables, but like my point being, is he the same guy, or has something happened this spring, or is it just the event got is longer now and it's not his forte? Like right now, would I put him in the top tier of got like if we reran the world championships? Of course not. Like look at the results. Like you're not going
yeah,
to, but I'm not counting him out for next year. His lifetime best is the same as Fred Curley's, which is the same as Trayvon Bromel's, right? He's run faster than Marvin Bracy. He's run faster than all these other guys that you've brought up. I'm willing, just based on what we saw last year, especially on the U.S. men's sprint side, a lot of them not having a good stretch there around the Olympics. I'm willing to chalk it up to him getting reacclimated to running the event and having a bad couple months. And he's still super young. And the thing is, what was the winning time here? 9.9. What was it today?
995.
990. Yeah. They're not out there running 9.6s, you
No,
know? So if you're saying Ken Christian Coleman, if 995 or
997.
997,
Yeah,
yeah. If that's what it takes to get in the first tier, he can get back there. So I guess I disagree with you in the long term, but in the short term, you got to look at the results. And yeah, he's not in that first tier.
I mean, I'm will. He might not even make the world team next year, bro. I know we still get four guys because Curly gets the bye,
Yeah, but
but like Williams is
we don't
good. He's gonna get better. I don't know, man. I don't think Bromell and Bracy are gonna lose a step yet. Curly obviously is there already.
like my question is, will you be surprised next year if he's able just to run sub 990, which might be what it takes to make the team.
Yeah, I would not be
And
surprised if he's good next
right,
year.
yeah,
That's true.
I think he needs a hard reset. I think that's what
Yeah,
he needs. It's very clear. Like he wanted to try uh to make the team. Look, he had the bye. He wanted to try to compete, but you go back and you look at those results. I think we put to bring this full circle. I think we put a lot of weight on indoors because it was Coleman, and he's great at the 60, and he ran 6.4 low. But remember, he had run 6.3s before, and he lost to Jacobs, and we're like, oh, okay, but he's still in that range of he's going to be the Christian Coleman of old. But then everything, like pull up those outdoor results again. Like which one of those in retrospect are you feeling good about? Like those all those outdoor results from 2022. Let's go through it. A 10:09. I'm just reading finals. 10:04. New York, he wins 992. That was a close race. USA's, he didn't run the final, but he was the 987, got third in the semi. And then he goes to Worlds and goes 10:08, 10:05, 10:01. And then now he has a 10:13 and a 10:17. So it's like very clearly not the Coleman of years past, right? But
yeah.
I think a lot of that is you just start to chase it at a certain point. You're trying to chase the old self, and you're taking these big swings trying to get the gold medal. I don't think he's out of it by any stretch because we've seen all these guys have up and downs, with the exception of Curly, who just sort of bounces around from event to event. But like, how many times has Bromel's career been over?
That's true.
I mean, who last
It's
year
true.
after Tokyo?
Same with
I
Bracy.
mean,
Bracy's career is over
yes,
too.
but like Bromel, even after he makes this big comeback, right? And he's the top guy in the world, and we're thinking he's Olympic favorite, and he doesn't make the final. I think a lot of people bailed on Bromel at that point
Yeah,
last year and said that was his chance. If he can't do it then, he's not going to do it. And then comes back, gets the bronze, which, hey, isn't gold, but he was within a whisker of a gold medal, and now he's
Yeah.
back to winning Diamond League races. So that was just we got to learn from the past results of a lot of these top guys. Like they can have a bad patch and come back, and we're not in the Usain Bolt era as much as you think we are with guys running 958. We are not in it. We're in a awesome, perfect conditions. Somebody can run a mid 9.7, but even that's not guaranteed era. So 9.8s are still going to get you wins, and they're still going to get you medals, and he can get back to 9.8.